Good evening. Hello or hello. Happy Sunday. Hey, am I going to say your name right? Debily Bentley. Welcome to the Niche Nation. This is a great time to join. I'm going to announce something super special that is already scheduled for this week. Now that I am getting settled in after what feels like it took forever to get moved. I am getting some things in place, getting some regular routines and all that good stuff. But I wanted to acknowledge that I see you. I see you over here in the chat. I just want to say too, because I get a lot of these comments after the fact. If you are able to actually leave a comment like you would on a video, that means the live is no longer live and you're watching the replay, which is okay because you still get some great tidbits. And if I'm doing a live sale, there's stuff that is still available, that kind of thing. So I always appreciate you watching the live replays as well. I always keep a little QR code up here that will take you over to the nicheladyshop.com if there's anything you want to go peruse. I put a bunch of stuff on sale today, plus every single listing you can make offers on. So there is always that. But if it's something like if I just listed the item, I'm very not likely to take an offer right off the bat. But I save those offers, and if the item doesn't sell at full price within a fairly short amount of time, I will entertain the offers. So it never hurts. It never hurts. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Hello, Shannon, Mary, Andrea, Gigi. Welcome in, welcome in. I don't know why the flock is quite that's not even bougie. That's Gordo and the parakeets making all that noise right now. Hello, Diane in London. I don't even know if you guys can hear that. It's like, we're a bird family. We're a bird family. It's just all there is to it. If you don't like animals, I'm probably not the YouTuber to watch. I'm just saying. My goodness. Hello, Madge. Welcome in, everybody. So I am going to talk about kind of a little something controversial going on here in Las Vegas right now, and something that like all of us living here are kind of suffering with. We'll go through that. I have some things from the most recent estate sale video. Thought we could talk a little bit more about that, and also just talk about estate sale shopping strategy and it's a little insider tips now that I've actually held my own estate sale and gone through that whole experience, both as a consignor using a company and doing it myself. I feel like I've got a little knowledge base I can speak from now. Oh, I know why the birds were so loud. It's because my daughter walked out to give them some fresh food. That gets them going. Yeah. Gordo doesn't talk, but he sings to me, which is the sweetest little thing. He's a cockatiel. He's a little white cockatiel that we rescued. Oh gosh, that's been, let me count the years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. We've had Gordo for 5 years. He came in. Oh, it was a really sad situation. I believe there was 6 parakeets, Gordo, and a lovebird, all crammed into a little cage together. And he had his foot chewed off. He was extremely overweight because they were feeding him human flaxseed as his main diet. I'm still really, really surprised he has lived this long, because what they do is they get fatty liver disease. But he's slim. He's in good shape now. So hopefully we got him in time to overcome that. Hello, where is the niche lady? Linda, I'm right here. Like, I'm not sure what that question means. Goodness. Hi, Robin, Christelle, and another Robin. We have 2 Robins here. Yeah, 5 year I know, time just absolutely is flying by. Just I can't believe it's the end of July already. I honestly, I'm so I'm like really serious about getting my house unpacked. Like I don't want to still be unpacking a year from now. I want to get this house unpacked. I have gotten through my entire inventory, like everything. Well, I shouldn't say everything. I haven't gone through the jewelry yet, but that's a whole other thing. All the jewelry though, I went through when I first moved it. So I'm just going to do a secondary check on all the jewelry, but yeah, my inventory is in good shape. My inventory rooms are set up with all of my cubbies and in I call it the cherish room. But it's really like where I put all the high end things so that it's not in where there's traffic coming through and more chance of things getting knocked over or broken. So all of like my very expensive glassware and pottery and porcelain and I've got like my Champlavet pieces back there and stuff. So that is it. It's got its whole room of the house, which also is like cubbies that are bolted to the wall. So no bad things can happen. Oh, Niche Lady Store. Okay. It's nicheladystore.com. Nicheladystore.com. Yes. And yes, I am in very, very hot Las Vegas, Nevada. Like, let's see. Let's see. What is the temp right now? I just came in. I'm having to put water in the pool, which I foresee us jumping into tonight. How do I get to my weather? Usually it's right here. Oh, it's here. Oh, well, see, it's only a balmy 108. Let me make sure my zip code's not on here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just 108 right now. Yeah, it's on a cooling trend. I swear to you, yesterday I had taken Rachel and a friend over to the mall to hang out, and driving over there, the little temperature gauge on my car was saying, first it said 121 because I'd had it parked like right in the sun. But even after driving and being in the shade, it was 117. Yeah, which is, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Does it work now without putting the www? I've always wondered, like, sometimes you see a link without the www dot. Do we not need to do that anymore? Is that a thing of the past? Is it just assumed everything's www? And we can just use, I don't know. 113 on your window thermometer. Oh yeah, Carol. Yeah. You know, girl. Which I guess I'll just talk about it. I've been following this very closely. So there's been a really big push in Vegas lately to get rid of grass. Like, you posted again, but you didn't. I see. I can't click links from StreamYard, so I don't know. I can't see it as a link. That's why I was asking. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So HOAs are pushing for it. People are actually getting in trouble if they don't rip out their grass. And it's being studied and determined that grass is actually cooling. That grass actually, I don't know if it absorbs the heat. I don't want to use, somebody's going to call me out, but for like saying it wrong. But the evidence is that grass actually helps it be cooler. And because now everything here is turning to rock and pavement and artificial turf, which also gets super hot. You ever tried to walk on that stuff? It's got metal in it. So we are actually heating it up here. They're doing that in Colorado too. Yeah, see, and it's getting hotter there, isn't it? So they're actually determining, well, and then the other thing that's happening is because we're no longer watering grass, the trees are dying because the trees are no longer getting watered like they need to be. Yeah, so it's this whole, It's that messing with the ecology, messing with Mother Nature. Like, man always screws it up, always screws it up, thinking they know better than the natural course of how things should be. It's disturbing. And then at the same time, we've got these huge data centers being built that consume thousands and thousands of and maybe millions of gallons of water. And yet we're getting in trouble for like having grass in a patch in our backyard that we want to water. Like it just doesn't make sense. And I'm like here to say, my opinion, we need to keep questioning the powers that be that are coming up with this crazy stuff. You gotta keep questioning it. You can't just let power people have to be careful, because the bots are out there and then they'll hide my video and stuff. But yeah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying, we're supposed to be looking out for us. Do not trust those that are profiting. Yes, do not comply. There we go. There's profit. If there's profit, you must question it. You must. It's a little crazy. And and of course we're calling it, global warming. But is it, we know a lot of it is man-made, but I guess what I'm trying to say is us little guys that are trying to do our best to conserve and do all the things, or is it those that are profiting? Yeah, okay. I won't go too far into it, but it's some crazy stuff. The data centers are right. It makes my blood boil a little bit. The future of Las Vegas is at stake. Plain and simple. I don't care who you are. You can look at the state of Lake Mead and the water levels going down, down. And all the people coming here and building houses and building more consumption, less water, less rain. And now the newest thing is they're going to tap into the groundwater at a rate that is bigger than what it can replenish. I make it make sense. Make it make sense. Do they want Vegas to go away? I don't know. I don't understand it, but here we are, and it's just hot. It's just hot. I don't remember it being this hot last year. I guess it was, but I don't know. I don't recall. I don't recall it being this hot. But it's hot. It's so hot. And I'm a little nervous because it's my first year with the tortoises not having a mister system on. And it's because their setup is much different now. They have total shade this time of day. They still have their artificial burrows with, deep shade and all the things. And they have big water things they can get into. But I like this little shell dog mama worries. Yeah, always follow the money. I have grass and trees in my front yard, and I'm not giving it up unless they make me. I get up at 2 or 3 a.m. and water it. I hear ya. You get up at 2 or 3 to water it? You don't have sprinklers? Girl, that's early. Just get a teenager. They stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. They'll take care of it for you. Well, and so now you understand why I made such a stink about the issues with my pool leaking. The property management, I don't think, is located in Las Vegas, so they don't get it. But I kept telling them, like, you keep telling me to fill the pool, but that is not only ethically wrong, but it is illegal. It is illegal to knowingly waste water in Las Vegas. So there's that. And now to fix the light issue, they want me to drain it again. And I was like, oh, no. no, we are not. We are not draining the pool again. So I've had an electrician disconnect the electric, so there's no hazard now. We just don't have a pool light at night, which is fine. And what I'm going to do is when it's no longer pool season, prime swimming fun pool season, I'll let the water naturally evaporate down so we're not just wasting water. I don't want it to go down the drain. Some states are requesting that thermostats be kept at 78 for air conditioners. Yeah. I keep mine in here at 76. And the reason I keep it at 76 is because it is close to 80 in the room next to this room. So if I go any warmer here where the thermostat is, I'm going to cook my aquarium. So doing the best I can. But I do try to keep the temp up. We just got hit by Bertha. Not too bad, but it's 98 degrees here, but 90% humidity. Yeah, we had that. What day was it? Like 4 or 5 days ago, we had 100-degree temps and we had that extreme humidity because the monsoons rolled through. So we actually got a little bit of rain a little bit later, but right before the rain and right after the rain, all you get is that heavy, heavy humidity with the heat. Yeah, that will zap you faster than everything. What's funny is it's the same lighting. Well, I don't have, this is the culprit. This new one that I put in, I still feel shadowy. I still need like somebody who knows more than me about lighting to come in and work on it with me. I don't know if I need it like over my head versus in front of me versus but thank you for noticing. I am working on it. I'm always working on it. You keep yours at 72 and that's not negotiable. 72, 73. Yeah, those seem like the average temps that people keep their AC at. And that's the other thing I don't understand. With the amount of solar that we have had in the last 10 years, people putting in solar, why are we still lacking energy? Why is our infrastructure still not suitable for powering all the things that need to be powered? See, I'm like, where is the inner management and planning for this stuff? And get electric cars. Well, hey, wait. Don't those need to also consume electricity? If we don't have electricity to keep people cool, how do we have electricity to power cars? Am I weird? Am I just overthinking it? I swear there's people that sit around in boardrooms just like, oh, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. Let's make that a thing. As they probably, give themselves a raise. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we should not be shamed for wanting to be the temperature that we choose to be, especially since we are paying for it. It's not like it's free. You're paying to have the cooling. So I don't know. Color me crazy. Color me crazy. They don't have the money for infrastructure. Why not? They sure as heck take plenty of it from us. I know I'm kind of on a roll tonight with the snark against, powers that be. Makes me a little crazy. I know a lot of you agree. That's why I have these conversations. I know I'm not completely alone thinking all of this. You have windmills on the hills surrounding, but the electricity goes to New York City. Yeah, see some of this stuff, that's like a lot of the water from Lake Mead goes to California, Utah, Arizona, and which I get it, it's fine. But California, build some desalinization plants. You got an ocean full of water right there. Shouldn't need a whole bunch of ours. Should just, be able to kind of make that work. Just saying. Lord knows California takes enough extra money out of everybody's hard work to pay for these things. Goodness gracious. Okay, well, I said I was going to talk about estate sales, and I'm totally going off on a tangent, but I enjoy talking to you guys. Sunday nights are now just kind of like when I'm not doing a live sale, this is just going to be our hanging out, talking about, whatever is on our minds at the time. And you are always welcome to ask me questions about what's going on. You saw something in a video. I love your questions. So throw them at me if you have one. I have a few things that have not shipped out already that I did want to talk about that were recently featured. Let me just talk about this first, because you did not see this show up in the Niche Lady shop. And the reason you did not see this show up in the Niche Lady shop is because I have a new little project. I don't know, did I ever show my swung vase collection at the old house? I had it up on top of a curio cabinet. It's all started with a big Bitterroot, like floor vase sized swung vase that I found at the swap meet. And I was like, I don't really want to sell this. This is like a once in a lifetime find here. So from that, I started getting more, and I started just kind of adding to the collection, and I liked the way it looked. Well, now I built a shelf. Well, I didn't build a shelf. I paid somebody to build a shelf, like a ledge in front of a window, because I have like really high ceilings. And then I have these windows that let in all this light. And I put all of my colored glass. It ended up being more than just swung vases. It's now all my colored glass is up in this window, and I still need some more because it's a big window. And so I showed it quickly once. Okay. So now I'm adding pieces to my window glass, and I'm going to have to show that in a video soon, and show you my little project. And everything is up there with museum putty. We don't have earthquakes, but I never want to take a chance. So everything got secured in place so that it can't come falling down. And, I trust my handyman who built the shelf. He understands the need for that shelf to not ever come down. So can I explain the difference between Jasperware and Wedgwood and how to identify each? That's a great question. So I'm looking, do I have an example? I actually just bought a piece, but it's still packed up. I haven't unpacked that yet. So Wedgwood is a company. Wedgwood makes Jasperware. Jasperware is that it's a porcelain, but it's got a very matte finish, and it comes in different colors. And then there's like a white accent to it. And other companies make a similar thing, and they will still call it Jasperware. Even though I think Wedgwood probably owns, the whole rights to Jasperware. But you have to think like your buyer. If you're a reseller, you have to think how someone would search for the item that you have for sale. So if you have an item and it is not marked Wedgwood, but it looks exactly like Jasperware, if you don't use Jasperware, nobody's going to find it most likely. You just can't say Wedgwood if you don't know for sure it's Wedgwood. Does that make sense? Is that a good explanation? I'm going to show it again, USA. I've been a little squeamish about showing like highlights of my home, but I've also decided I don't want to live in fear anymore. And I feel well enough protected now. I'm going to show certain things like that. I don't live in a cookie cutter house. So there's some distinguishable features of this home that I live in now, but it's okay. Excuse me. Okay, good, good, good. I'm glad that helped. Um, that's interesting that hold it for it. Hold it. Why does it have a little question mark? It's like it's like it knew you were asking a question and it gave me a little highlighted question mark. Well, that's pretty darn cool. Huh. Huh. I love it. Um, yeah, I get it, Beth. I mean, I want to share. Like I'm kind of excited about some of my collections. So I do want to share and share it with you guys and all that. So it's like finding the balance, you know? It's all good. But yeah, I will definitely be sharing the glass because I know you guys want to see the glass. I love it. It makes me happy. You know, isn't that why we have a collection? Isn't that why we display things? It's because it it just you feel it. You like walk into a room with those things that you love and it's like it's your peace, it's your zen. It's like I collected this. I did this kind of a thing. It's your home. You got it. Yeah, I won't be giving like a full house tour. I won't be doing that, but I for sure am going to show like some of my collections. I'm still getting them set up. Um I've got Rachel on board to help me get things unpacked now. Like that's the biggest time consumption is just getting stuff out of boxes. And I said, if you can just get the stuff out of the boxes, then I can like figure out, where it goes. But it's all that time to just even get it out of the boxes. Of course, I'm having a special. So for those who don't know, I used to have um 4 fish tanks and I decided I wasn't going to have 4 fish tanks anymore. I knew that when I was moving, but then I was like, I wasn't sure if I was even going to keep any. And then I just couldn't bear the thought of giving up my garden eels. So I was for sure going to bring that tank. And then my other 3 tanks, I was like, what do I do? And that is when my aquarium guy said, well, I do have a 450-gallon tank sitting in my garage. I was like, oh, meaning like I could take all the fish from these 3 tanks and put it into one tank and just have one tank. And he's like, yeah. I, in my brain, did not realize how big a 450-gallon fish tank is until I got here. And then I was like, oh, it's great, but it's big and it's not finished. So he had been storing this tank for a former client and it had a wood canopy and then doors that went on the front to cover up all the filtration equipment underneath. Well, that wood did not make it through storage. So I'm still in the process of finishing up, like, how do I cover up the bottom and how do I get the lights situated on the top and all of that. But I have a friend who is going to help me take some blackout curtains and hem them up to be the bottom to make it look more presentable and all of that. Do you have outdoor camera or a constant? Oh yeah, I have more than one outdoor camera. I have cameras on all sides. We have an alarm on the house. We have neighbors that have cameras and everybody knows to keep an eye. It is a very protected neighborhood. Yes, which is one of the reasons I like this neighborhood. Funny you should say that, Beth. So when it was being like put together and gotten ready, my aquarium guy, he was inside of it, putting everything together. Yeah. Yeah. It's big enough. It's big enough you could literally get in it. Yes. But the fish are very happy. They're very happy. And I wasn't sure I liked it at first. In fact, at one point, I threw a little tantrum and I was like, I hate it. Make it go away. Because it was like, It's really hard to get used to feeding the fish now. Like I figured it out, but it's not quite as personal. I mean, I used to hand feed so many of my fish and I can't do that anymore. And so we've had to come up with like, some solutions to make sure everybody gets food and I have to climb up on a stool to get up to put the food in and all that, but it's okay. I'm settled with it now. And it's loud, like hence needing to put the blackout curtains along the bottom because it's very loud, kind of like a constant humming kind of sound. But I think we're gonna be able to quiet that down very soon. Yeah. So let me show you a couple things. I'll tell you one of my biggest surprises, and maybe Melissa can like put up the link. If you want to guys, if you guys want to see like better pictures, close-ups, and all that stuff, you can look at the listing where there's lots of like pictures and stuff. So when I first saw these, I thought they were Bellique. See, my camera he doesn't like it when I show you something close up. They are the consistency of Bellique. They are the thinness of Bellique, but they are not Bellique. I turned it over and I'm like, Royal Crown. Okay, I say Derby because that's how it's spelled, but I am told that the English call this Darby. And I get that. Is it an accent thing? Or is it actually Darby? You know what I'm saying? Because it's spelled Derby. These things confuse me with the English language. But I can find no others available for sale. I did find they are called Posy vases. That's all I know. I know they're rare. I know they are the Royal Crown Derby. It's not, I guess you would consider it a black mark, but it's like a really, really dark green as opposed to their newer marks, which are red. So there you go. So that's why I got these too. These are also Royal Crown Derby. But very, very fun to find things like this that, there's no others out there. And then, well, how do you price something that doesn't have anything else? Like there's no comps. I run into this a lot because I think the way my brain works when I'm sourcing is it connects to things that I've never seen before, or it connects to things that I've either rarely seen or I saw it on an auction result going really high, that kind of stuff. So I get a lot of stuff that in order to price it, you have to look at the maker. Like, what is the general price range that their items go for? Look at the quality. And again, you have to look at, is it an old piece? Is it a new piece? Like Hummels? Not all Hummels are created equal. Look at, I'm in the dark now because I did that whole like trying to show it. Look, camera. Look, I have something white. Can you adjust now? Adjust. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's trying to adjust. It's the auto lighting on this camera that wants to put me in the dark. It's crazy. So a lot of it just comes from being able to trust your own judgment and know that something is good, know that something is rare. I started to say about the Hummels. So as I showed in the video, Hummels have been made for many years, and the ones that were made in the beginning have a different mark than the ones that were made later. And my opinion of why the later ones are not worth as much is because when Hummels started taking off and becoming popular and they were selling more, they made more. They started doing more mass production of the same piece. So the rarity is not there. But when you find one that was done back in the 1950s, 40s, 50s, somewhere in there is where Hummel started. Those they didn't make as many. That trademark 1, trademark 2, there are fewer of those pieces out there, and it's a supply and demand thing. And collectors want the more rare version of the piece. So I'm not saying what the case is here for Royal Crown Derby, however you want to say it. It's like niche and niche, you know. We can use them interchangeably. Okay, so the mark is from 1890 to 1910. So different marks can tell you things about the piece that you have. And something that was made over 100 years ago is going to generally be worth more than something that was made even 40 or 50 years ago. So I would, and the fact that they're little tree trunks was also, if they'd been Belleek, I would have still picked them up because I loved everything about them. And that was a really cool estate. I'm quite bummed that I did not get there on day one. I've got to get my schedule better aligned to get to these really, really special estate sales on the first day, because I can only imagine what was there. Like the stuff that was left on day 3 was still phenomenal, but day 1 must have been even more phenomenal. You know, even if the prices were such that I really couldn't buy anything, I would have loved to have been able to film and see just the history from this estate. I'm so glad you brought up rarity. I just scored some 19th century Mason jugs ewers at an online auction. The marks and mold numbers are correct. A seller on eBay, Etsy, Posh. Oh, fantastic. And Mason's really good. Really good. That is a beautiful thing to find. The other rule of thumb is if it was expensive in the beginning, it's going to hold its value. If it was never an expensive piece, those pieces, it's very unlikely that they're going to far outweigh, you know, what they were originally. So always keep that in mind too. Cherish is a fantastic place to sell higher end things. Now, Cherish will take 30%. Is it 30? No, they'll take 40% up until you have 20 items listed and are considered a professional seller. So if you're going to sell on Cherish, find at least 20 listings to have on there at all times, so that you reduce the amount that you pay in commission by 10%. But I do sell, in fact, I just sold something today. What did I sell today on Cherish? In fact, I didn't even let Melissa know yet. I just accepted an offer on something. Oh, see, now it's going to bug me. Now I got to go look. I got to go look. And I always price higher on Cherish because of the fact that the fees are higher and it is just a different place. It is like interior designers are shopping there. Stand by. I'm pulling it up. What did I sell? I sold the rocking horse. I sold this rocking horse. Let me see if I can show it without showing. Okay, I can. I don't want to show customer information, but I will show you what I sold. Ta-da! I sold this guy. I did take an offer, and this is the beautiful thing. I had him listed for $250. I took an offer. Let me remember, because it's not on the screen. $175. I took an offer of $175. Now you're like, whoa, that's a huge discount you gave this person, Danny. Yeah, I'm okay with it because I only paid $20 for this guy. So we're good. We're still in a massive profit margin on that piece. And I think a lot of sellers get stuck, you know, wanting, like, is he worth $250? Yes, I've seen him sell for $250. I have. But I also know cash flow is king. So I'm perfectly happy taking the $175. Now, Cherish will take 30% of that, which kind of sucks. But again, I only paid $20. So it was a good sale. So 40%. That's a good comment, Mary. She says, wowie, Danny, 40%, too much. It's not too much if they bring you a customer who pays 20, 30, 40% more than on other sites that are taking 20%. Keep in mind, other sites are taking 20% or more, depending how much you pay in all the promoted listing fees and all that. Chairish arranges the whole shipping. They give you the shipping label. I'm good with the 30%. That's the thing. It's 10% more than selling it on eBay for probably 30 or 40% less. So that's where the numbers come into play there. They bring the high-end customer, which is the beautiful thing about Chairish. I know the horse is really cool too. And I've had him a while. It's time for him to go, oh, let me show you the other piece that I sold it to. This is a really great story. And I'm so excited. It's another piece long tail item. It happens. Sometimes we have to hold on to something for a while, but check this guy out. Let's see. Okay, again, it doesn't show where he's going. Okay. Share my screen. Now, I have had this guy for quite some time. I had him listed at $69.99. And this is Etsy. I sold him on Etsy. And a gentleman reached out to me through Etsy messages. And we kind of went back and forth. And he's like, we want to get this and put it in the Żelazny Brod Museum. So this piece is going back to Poland, where it was created, and going into a museum. So I did reduce the price for him, being that he had to pay a substantial amount of shipping and tariffs and taxes and all of that stuff. I think his total bill came to like $125 US. So he paid more in all that stuff than he did for the piece. And so, I did my part. I reduced it like $20 for him. But I'm like super excited when a piece goes to a place like a museum and finds its rightful home. So I was really tickled about that sale this week. And like I said, I've had that guy for a little bit. And sometimes when you have those special pieces and it's a special piece, don't be too quick to want to just get rid of it with a lowball offer somewhere. I mean, this person came with a legitimate request. They were based in Poland. It checked out. It was all good. I was happy to do it. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It was pretty exciting, to know that people are finding these things. And that just means a lot to me. The history of things means a lot to me. And I love when I sell things and I know it's going to a collector who's going to cherish it and keep its history. And because I think we're losing the history of pieces. I think a lot of it's going bye-bye. It used to be you would go to an antique mall and everything would have like what it was and, the maker or the artist or all of that. Not anymore. Not anymore. Everybody is picking this up and asking Google, what is this? And putting that on pieces, and it may or may not be correct. AI is not correct. A whole bunch. It is pulling information it finds off of the internet. And we all know information on the internet is very often wrong. But AI doesn't necessarily know that. It just says, oh, I found this result. Let me feed that to you as here. This is what it is. And now we're going to have over generations, we're going to lose that original history. Your grandparents were from Poland, your dad's parents. I am half Polish. My father was Polish. I believe his parents came from Poland. Mom, are you here? What generation came here from Poland on my father's side? But yes, I came by this nose, honestly. The other thing that, I love to find and I love to talk about is the American Brilliant Glass. I absolutely adore it. I studied it quite extensively many years ago. In fact, I have a video out there that goes through the whole history of American Brilliant Glass and how it originated, and there was European cut glass. So back in the 1800s, okay? Kind of the early, like, into the 1820s, 1830s, when I say early, okay? So there was this beautiful European cut glass that was being brought over, and only the wealthy really could afford to keep this glass. But American glass makers were like, we can make that. We can do that. We can replicate that. And so the American glass makers started making the American Brilliant Glass. Now, why is it so thick and heavy? Well, because they didn't have modern tools and technology that we have today. They had to do things in a way that they could get in there and make the cuts by hand. So they had to make the glass quite thick, as you know. So the early American Brilliant period, like, what's the year? 1860 something? Oh gosh, somebody check me on that. So the American companies were making the glass and it was being passed off as the European cut glass. That is why it's not marked. That is why they didn't put their names on it, because they didn't want anybody to know it was American. American was like bad juju, it wasn't the expensive stuff. It's like the equivalent of us thinking that something came from, Walmart versus Macy's. I don't know. I'm just throwing those names out there. So there was a World Fair in Europe. And again, I don't retain numbers very well. I know it was the mid 1800s, which was then the beginning kind of the early American Brilliant era. So the glass won some awards at the World Fair, and that is when it became okay for the American glass makers to be producing the glass that replicated what the Europeans were making. And so that was really the heyday began. And there was a lot of companies that started making this beautiful glass and different patterns. So this particular piece, this is your sign here. There's a company called McKee, who was the early 1900s, and they came up with a technique to make these etched flowers right around in the 1920s. And this particular pattern is called Innovation, and there's quite a bit of it out there still. So it's not one of your higher end American Brilliant patterns, and it's really at the end of the American Brilliant period. Some people don't technically call it American Brilliant, but it still qualifies. It is still at the tail end of the period, but that is what this is. And you can see the thickness of the glass is still thick, not quite as thick as some of the pieces can be double this thickness that you see here. They're super thick, but always very exciting to find. Now, they did start acid etching their little maker names into the pieces. I believe in the late 1800s into the early 1900s. And so those pieces, if you turn a piece and you have to do this, and you have to just let that light hit it just right. And many times you will find a name, usually in the center or along the outer edge, but it's always on the inside where it's smooth. That's where they would have put the little acid etch. But if you don't find one, it's okay, because the earlier stuff was never marked. It was just never marked. So I was excited to get that. And then this piece was like one of the first pieces that really caught my eye. Number one, because it's a sea urchin and I'm kind of an ocean gal. But because of the house I was in. So you always have to look at when you're at an estate sale, like what is the provenance of the things you're finding? This happened to be, she was a, considered Hollywood elite. She was married to, was he a director or a producer? And then she was married to the owner of the Sands Hotel. And she was a Playboy bunny. Like she was in the heyday of early Vegas, living the life. And so she liked fine things. And what I found out about this piece is it's an Isabeau Gray was the designer. And of course, it was made for Pottery Barn, but it's also like a fairly rare piece. You're not going to find these just out there anywhere. And Pottery Barn is high end. So super, super excited. And if it doesn't sell, this is going to go in my bathroom. So I'm okay with that too, because I do that sometimes. I can justify buying something going, I'll keep that if it doesn't sell. But that I still haven't tested to see if this is silver. I am seeing that she did make her pieces with silver, so I am going to test that. This piece was actually the first piece I found at that sale, which I found out a little bit of history on why they put the penny on the inside, and it was to date the piece. And I found out this is a thing. I had no idea. I've never seen one with a penny before. Has anybody seen one with a penny in it before? I had not. I just like the construction of the bowl itself. Look at this. Look at this pattern. How it's all put together. And I guess I just appreciate like the talent it takes to make something like this. Like, it's not just a slap together pieces of wood. Like this is precision work. And then, they put the penny, which is 2016. So 10 years old. But I think she had some shopping fun about 10 years ago. She is still with us. She is just no longer living in the home and they needed to downsize. But I think she's 89 from what I could find. 89 years old and still living a good life. But yeah, but I just thought that was super interesting. Nope, never seen that before. Yeah, me neither. So still have that one. Now, this next piece is sold, but it's sold after Friday's shipping was done. But I still want to talk about it because this did not come from that estate, but it certainly could have. It is the right style. Beautiful German cheese dome. And again, I wanted to talk about this because I'm going to carefully set that down. Because a lot of people will not pick up something. Oh, I did it again. I did it here. I'm over here. I'm over here, camera. I'm over here. Shine a light, shine a light. See, it's just trying to auto adjust. Here, we're over here. Oh, it does not like that. It does not like that at all. Come back to me. I'm sitting in the dark now. Come on, camera. What if I give it something like this to focus on? How do I get it back? How do I give you something purple? What if I give you something purple to focus on? No. What if I give you something white to focus on? No. It does not like that. Oh my gosh. I don't know. It needs to adjust. Anyway, so a lot of resellers won't pick up something that doesn't have a maker name or a mark on it. And I agree that those things can be very difficult to determine a value, to come up with, how do I list this? What do I call it? All that stuff. But those are the things that are going to make you money. They're going to challenge you to learn something you may not have known before. I put that upside down. There you go. You go like that. You go like that. So marks on porcelain pottery items was not a thing. And again, I don't remember the years why does the year 1915 come to mind? Anyway, it was somewhere in the early 1900s is when the government decided, hey, you need to put your country of origin on the stuff that you're exporting over to our country. And so we can date things that way as well. So this piece was before that. This piece was before it was required to put a country of origin on the porcelain pieces. So something to remember, like if the porcelain is not marked, it doesn't mean it's not good. It simply means it could be super antique. There was a mold number underneath the lid, 766, which is German or Austrian. You saw a mold number under the lid? Oh, it's hand painted on there. Yeah. Yeah, but that's not a country of origin mark. That's not a who made it mark. That was probably an internal. I wonder if it was like even to match the base with the top when they were making it. I don't know that I would call it a mold number. Mold numbers are usually molded into the piece. So it's just a little hand painted, mark for some reason. Who knows? Who knows? It's really bothering me. You guys, don't you hate that when your bra straps like stick out from your shirts? Okay, I had to fix that. I was trying to ignore it and I just couldn't anymore. So, but yeah, so this is all, everything else has been sold. Stuff sells pretty quick, which I'm so grateful for. Thank you to everybody who shops at the Niche Lady shop. It is how I pay the bills. So I'm a reseller. That's what I am first. The YouTube channel came along long after I was a reseller. So reseller first, YouTube content second. Most of my time is spent in the reselling end of the business. All right. Yep, no, yeah, but they use those numbers in Germany or Austria. Yep. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Lots of great porcelain came out of Germany, Austria. Absolutely. I also got the RS pressure piece. What did I do with the RS pressure piece? Why wasn't the RS pressure piece with this piece? Did I sell the RS pressure? I got that beautiful piece of RS pressure too. And that apparently my inventory isn't quite as organized as I thought it was. I'm sure it's over there. Or did I sell it? Did I sell it, Melissa? Melissa keeps better track than me sometimes. But yeah, that's what's kind of going on right now. Tomorrow's video, I think, is going to be something fun. It was fun to create, and it really made me see how things have changed over the last several years. So I'll just give you that little hint for what's coming tomorrow. And then Wednesday's video is again estate sales that I went to on Friday and Saturday. And I just this morning, I had some dear friends who delivered some, I'm so excited about these, some true vintage, like 1950s pool chairs. Like, what? I'd wanted some pool lounger chairs, and I went to this estate sale and they had 5 matching, just these old school, like I have to replace a little bit of the webbing stuff and that, but they're actually in really fantastic condition for age. And now I have pool chairs that are like so cool and retro. I bought them going, oh, how am I going to get these home? Because the only part that folds, is the head part, just goes up and down, but there's that bar. So they're what, 6 foot long, 5 foot long, 6 foot long. And then I play bunco every month with a group of ladies. And I was telling them about the chairs, and I was sitting here texting with my handyman who does a lot of stuff for me. I'm like, hey, I got to figure out how to get, some chairs. And he was going to get a U-Haul van and help me get them. And my friend sitting next to me, she goes, we have a truck. We can help you get them. And I'm like, I can't ask that. She goes, yeah, we want to. So they delivered the chairs for me. It was amazing. But this house, I don't want to give away too much because I want you to watch the video, but this house had a tile in, not just in the kitchen, but went all the way back down the hallway through the bedrooms that was a bit controversial. And I heard a customer come in the door go, and the house was for sale. And they're going, oh, they're going to have to change this tile. And I'm going, what? No, I love this tile. So that's just your little hint for Wednesday's video. But I love the house. There's been some really cool houses lately that I've gone into with these estate sales. Oh, which brings me a little bit back to our topic. I know we kind of go off on tangents on these things. So when I film the estate sales, I do like to show the house, the floor plan, some of the details. Do you like that? Or do you want me to just stick to the shopping, Danny? I would love to know, if you like, because when I watch videos, I do like to see the house and the floor plan and how it's decorated and all that stuff. So I have been trying to show more broad, panning of rooms and getting into when there's no people in there so I can keep people out of the video. But I am curious what you think about that. You like it? Okay, cool. Love the house tours. Okay, awesome. Like seeing the house. Excellent. Okay, I'll keep doing it. But then I guess I want to open it up to questions about estate sales now, whether you are a shopper or you want to hold one. I can answer questions from both sides of that conversation if you want to ask something. I will tell you what I learned about holding one. Here's my tips if you're going to have one. Number one, hire a professional company that is highly reputable. Not all estate sale companies are created equal. Some estate sale companies take the sales that the best reputation companies turn down. There is that. But the reason for paying somebody to do that job for you is, number one, they know what the market will bear. They know how to price. They have a client list. They have a huge, usually email list that they send out and let their customers know that they have a sale. And they handle all the taking of the money and all the worrying about the sales tax and all of that stuff. So there's a lot that they do. They set up the home, they price everything. There's a lot of work involved in holding an estate sale. A lot, let me tell you. So I decided the first time, things did not go as planned. I had wanted a certain estate sale company to do the sale. And for a number of reasons, that changed up. I hired in another company, but they didn't have time to run an in-person sale. So they talked me into doing it as an online auction. I would never do that again in a million years. At least with the companies that are here in Vegas. And sadly, that was a really bad experience for a lot of people that I invited to shop from that sale. And for that, I am so genuinely sorry. That company, if you go and read their Google reviews, you will see that this is definitely their reputation. I have had a bad experience with them in the past, but I was reassured from the estate sale company that they worked very closely with them and that this would, all be great and all of that. But it was not great. It was not great at all. Hence why there was so much extra stuff also at the sale I did over at my workhouse. And then at the point I was doing it at the workhouse, the company I wanted to use was not able to do a sale until this month, which then I would have had to have paid the rent again and all of that. And I really just wanted to be done. I wanted to be out of that house. So I called in another company to do it. And they kind of kept, dragging their feet on getting it set up and all this. And then they had a family emergency. So the weekend we were supposed to do the sale, they went out of town and there was no setup done. And I was like, so had to flip gears again. And that's when I brought in the Volunteers of Vegas, who are a nonprofit here in Las Vegas that are just filled with amazing people who love to help. And I ran it as a fundraiser. Obviously, it had to be like something that made sense for them. Normally what they do is they go do work for other nonprofits, or they'd go do park cleanups, or, they make care packages for the unhoused. They run events for charities. They do so many things. But they also need to make some money. So I thought, well, this is a win-win. Let's do this. So brought in the Volunteers of Vegas, got it all set up, held the sale. They got a percentage of the sales of what we did for the 2 days. So it was a beautiful thing. I think the best thing was, though, because of all the volunteers that I got to work with personally at the event, I also got to forge some really cool new friendships as well. And I have stepped in now to do more volunteer work with them, do more work with them, like helping on their fundraising efforts and all of that. And it's like super exciting to be part of their ground. They've only been around, I think, for like a year, and it's amazing. So the whole mission for them is to take care of the actual volunteers. Because so often you go to volunteer for something and volunteers kind of get lost in the shuffle. They don't get questions answered. They don't know what to do. So Volunteers of Vegas is set up in such a way that there is always somebody at the events who knows exactly what the volunteers need to do and is the point person for the volunteers. The mission is to take care of the volunteers, make sure they have snacks and drinks and whatever things that they need to make it a great experience. And they have done an amazing job. So all of that to say, if you are in Las Vegas and you want to be part of something super cool, please check out volunteersofvegas.com. They post all the different things that they have coming up. You just say, yep, I want to do that. You make a commitment, and then you go have some fun and do good things for the community. So it all worked out the way it was supposed to. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, even though it didn't work out with the estate sale company I was going to use and all of that, it worked out even better. Like it was a total win-win. And I sold massive amounts of stuff and got that house emptied out. And now I moved and settled and all of the things. Yes. Crystal is part of them too. Yeah, they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal. And I just love, I wish I had more free time to go help, but they'll take one day a year if that's all you have to volunteer. They'll take it. So you've never been to an estate sale, but I'm wanting to check them out. Any tips for someone trying to find unique pieces for a fair price? So every estate sale company is different, and every even like privately run sale is going to be different. So if it's something you want to do on a regular basis, my advice is to find the companies that most align with what you want to see in an estate sale. Is their pricing fair? Is the way they treat customers great? Do you, feel like it's a good experience overall? Just keep going back. And that's the thing. If you want to, be somebody who gets invited for the VIP days, or to, get a special deal on something, once they know that you are like regular customer, always coming back and supporting their sales, relationships. You don't have to be a YouTuber. You don't have to be a wealthy person. You just have to be somebody who is a regular known face that they can count on to be at their sales, and spread the word. I mean, word of mouth marketing is still the absolute best marketing out there. And a good company knows that, and they will take care of their regular customers. So get on their email lists so you know when their sales are, so you can be notified, and then go show up for their sales. As far as then when you're at the sales and you're looking for things, know that day one, you're probably not going to get the big discounts or deals, but on high-end items, there may be some negotiations on day one. On day two, or if it's a 3-day sale, day three, they know that it's their last day of the sale, and their mission is to get everything sold. Like that is the goal, is to sell everything. So there's a lot more negotiation that can go on a second or third day of an estate sale, especially if they really need to get that house cleared. Bigger items tend to be more negotiable because those are the harder things for them to sell and get out the door. What else? You guys have tips too. A lot of you guys do estate sailing. How do you find estate sales? What a great question. Yes, Sandra D. So there is a website. Let me see. Let me show you the site that I use and how it works. Make sure there's no identifying information in here. Okay, I'm not logged in. They don't know me. Okay, so estatesales.net is my main go-to. And the cool thing is that you can sort things by what types of sales you want to go to. So if I just want to go to in-person estate sales, I don't want auctions. I'm going to take the auction houses out of here. All right, this is all I want. And it's showing me right now the next 15 days. But we know there's probably going to be more that are going to pop up. But let's say, okay, yeah, see, today they're all done for today. Yeah, they're all done for today. But so we've got 3, and then you can go down here and you can see the company that's holding it, and you see the dates. Some of these are auctions, it looks like. Ooh, I'll be going to that one. For sure. And then you can favorite them. So you have to be logged into favorite, but then you can click that, you can favorite it. And then when you want to come back to it, you just go to the ones that you've favorited. And I think, will this one set your route? I don't know if this one will set your route, but you just put in your city or zip code and it's going to pull up the area near you. There is another site. I never navigate live, guys. I learned that lesson long ago. There's another company, just for a comparison, called estatesales.org. I don't use this one as much. I tend to use estatesales.net. But this one does the same thing. You put in a zip code, like somebody give me a zip code. I'm going to put in, I just know this is a zip code in Vegas. So it's going to pull up a lot of the auctions. I don't know if this one is easy to filter out the auctions. And you can see this Clark County auctions, like they dominate here, which I don't like. But it is what it is. So no photos yet. This is coming up. Oh, this ended. That's why. Oh, I guess they still have today's on here. But I like that it does have the map, and you can, look in the map, see what's around you, what you want to go to. Yeah, and then it features all the auctions. I mean, auctions are fine for sourcing if you've got a good auction house near you. Maybe one of these Sundays we'll talk about auction houses because I have a lot of experience there as well. Okay, Deborah. Yeah, you use it in Omaha, Nebraska. Yep. Oh yeah, it's nationwide. It's nationwide site. The one I like is estatesales.net. Estatesales.net is my favorite. Andrea wants me to put in 13310. Let me go back to the good one. Let's go back to the good one. Let's see, Andrea. So, oh, let me put it on the screen. So it doesn't look, so I've got distance 30 miles, so you might have to expand a little bit. Oh, 35 miles. I've got to go 35 miles to get to one around you. But you can expand this out if you're willing to, travel a little bit. And then you can pull up, that one's tractors and treasures. Well, that's much different than we find here in Vegas. And this one just says privately listed estate sale, 33 miles. But basically that's how you look them up. Ooh, that looks good. See all those pictures? Like they draw you in. The furniture. It's always the furniture kind of makes me take a second look. Okay. And here's another tip. When you're looking at the pictures, if you don't see something that really tickles your fancy, it doesn't mean that thing isn't there. It means it didn't bring the attention of the people who were setting up the sale and thinking these are the things that people want to see. And you might very well get it for a really good price because it wasn't a highlighted item of the sale. So that's another little tip. The pictures can give you an overall sense of how much is there and, kind of like, what was this person's collection like? Oh my gosh, who watched this? Okay, I'm covering this up because, oh wait, can you see my little cursor over there? Yeah, you can. Okay, I'm trying to cover up the name. It's really tiny, so you might not be able to see. Come on, who else watched this show with me? I watched this show every single week. It was one of my faves. That's crazy. Let's see. I got to wait for lag for you to hear me asking this question. Come on, I can't be the only one who watched this show. I'm waiting for the answer. It's like trivia night. Yeah, and when it changes, like the site changes like every single week. Nope, it's not Dukes of Hazzard. It's not Dukes of Hazzard. I actually haven't even thought about this show for a very long time. I wonder if there's replays anywhere. Starsky and Hutch. Yes, Starsky and Hutch. Yeah, fun show. Paul Michael Glazier, and I forget the blonde guy's name. What was his name? He didn't matter to me. I liked Paul. Great show. Yeah, that's funny. Well, there's some really cool stuff here. Kind of a little bit of everything at this sale might be one worth and that's the other thing you have to decide. Is it worth traveling, to? Barrett's. Oh, did you just, gosh, I wish my mom was here. Was it Beretta? Was that the other show that we used to watch like back in the day? Oh my gosh. Yeah, they both are. They both are. Unfortunately. David Soul. That's right. David Soul. Yeah, well, it's really funny because I'm sure he was the one that most women, went gaga over. Yeah, that's an intriguing sale. I'm with you, Andrea. I would probably travel a distance to go to. It's by a company called the Green Giraffe, which is another intriguing name for an estate sale company. Love it. But I think that's what I like about these old estates too, is it might not be things that you want to buy, but it sure is like a walk back on memory lane. You see things that you remember having and using, or I see a lot of stuff that was in my grandmother's house. And I this the one that comes out on Wednesday, it's like I thought I was in my grandmother's closet. It was whoa. Like, woo. But yeah, I do like the estate sales. And then I like thrift stores who get things that, like, if they don't want to do an estate sale or they don't have enough stuff to do an entire estate sale and they just donate it, those tend to be the smaller stores, like that have like the Dog Junkies. Dog Junkies gets like a lot of really amazing things because they're coming from like families, and family members get family members things and donate them because they want them to be treasured. They don't want them to end up at the Goodwill bins or in the trash. They want the quality things to find a quality home. So smaller thrift stores can be a treasure trove for those types of things as well. Whereas unfortunately Goodwill gets a lot of like house clean out stuff. They get a lot of broken stuff. We know that. And when they do get good stuff, it generally is not really ending up on the shelves. They're pulling it to put on their online store, and that's just the way it's going these days. And if they're doing well and they're making a lot of money doing that, it's not going to change. The only way they'll change is if that business model isn't working for their bottom line. Yeah. And sometimes, well, and I know, and sometimes it's hard for the smaller thrift stores to get a foothold because everybody thinks Goodwill, like that's like the first word that comes to mind. It's like when you think of gelatin, you don't say gelatin, you say Jello. Thrift store, Goodwill, and Salvation Army. And um, Savers is not as quite as well known, although it's getting, bigger by the year. But yeah, the little mom and pops are still near and dear to my heart, and I try to go to them as much as I can. And I will pay a higher price at those stores too, knowing that they're not backed by any big corporate grants and money and the things that the bigger places can do. They depend on their shoppers and their donors. 100%. But it's also animal shelters. Yeah. It's also why I don't mind Savers, like being like it's still a big corporation, but I know firsthand how much it helps small nonprofits because they do fundraisers where they gather the things to donate and then Savers pays them for the things that get donated. So that is also why you will find some better things at Savers, because it's people donating to the nonprofit that they love. And so Savers does get some better stuff that way. We have a 2A thrift, which is your say. Oh, I only knew that Savers was Savers Value Village. Are you sure it's the same? You had one smaller thrift store and they closed, and I think it was because they didn't get much traffic. Yeah. And it's hard. Like, you can't just rent a building and put stuff in it. There is so much more to getting people to come into your brick and mortar shop. It's truly, and you have to be willing to lose money for a few years sometimes before you ever see red, white, and blue. Yeah, we go to red, white, and blue in California. Now we have one when I go visit Jordan. And I don't know how they're a little high priced because they're pricing knowing that they're going to take the big discounts. No Savers in New Jersey. Wow. That surprises me. Good night, USA. Yeah, I got to go find out what's on tap for dinner tonight with the kiddos. I think we're going to have We're either going to make tacos or spaghetti because I saw ground beef thawed. And then maybe hit the pool. We hit the pool in the evening after the sun goes down because it's too hot while the sun comes up. Well, the sun is up. None in New York either. I wonder why. I wonder why that is. 2A Thrift has same 20% you had in your hand. Yes, in New Jersey. Interesting. I've only been to like northwest New Jersey kind of area. Arc Thrift in Colorado is so expensive. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thrift stores have caught on, to the whole online model, and they're trying to make as much as they possibly can. And like I said, if it's working and they're seeing the numbers they want to see, then God bless them. They get to do that. Resellers have to find other ways to find their stuff. Mixed spaghetti tacos. I don't know how I feel about that. Sounds messy. We're probably going to go with the spaghetti versus tacos since lettuce is, questionable. And I like a taco with lettuce. Even though we do romaine, we don't do iceberg around here, but All right. What other questions do you guys have around estate sales? I'd love to answer them before I sign off. And again, if you're watching on the replay and you want to ask me something down in the comments, you guys know I read all of my own comments. I can't answer every one, but I do read all the comments. And if you've got a question that I can answer, I will. I'm not a big fan of fish tacos. Yeah, never. No, I'm not a big seafood eater. I do like a little fried shrimp now and then, but most, fish and seafood, it's just not my thing. It doesn't. I know. And we have the romaine lettuce for the tortoises. In fact, I think I just fed the last head this morning. Come to think of it, I need to go to the store, but I so dread going shopping in the heat. I have to go like when it's cooler. And then I'm usually like too tired. I'm like, yeah, tomorrow. And I put it off. I don't love lobster. Mostly psychologically, it got ruined for me by a boyfriend when I was in my 20s. We bought some lobsters that we were going to cook at home. And we didn't know how you're supposed to clean them first. You can guess. It was disgusting, gross, and it just totally wrecked my whole lobster eating experience from then on, because I always wonder now how well it was cleaned before it was cooked. Yeah. They're kind of disgusting creatures. Salmon's so good for you. Yeah, it's all the whole mercury thing kind of scares me too. Whether it's wild caught or farm raised, there's still issues. So I just worry about seafood. Oh, you found a 2A Thrift in New Jersey. Awesome. Love it. I love when the community helps one another. Oh gosh, I'm almost forgetting. Holy smokers. God, I'm gonna have to put this as a pinned comment too. Wednesday afternoon, evening, depending where you're at, I will be doing a Niche Nation members first live sale, clearance sale. So if you are a member of the Niche Nation, mark your calendars. That is scheduled for, did I do 4 o'clock? I think I did it at 4 o'clock. I think I did. So I'm going to do that. It's already scheduled. You can set your notifications for that. If you are a member of the Niche Nation, or if you join the Niche Nation, if you make a purchase that night, I will refund. I will credit your 1 month of membership for that. Have I thought about my own estate sale business and live streaming? That is a lot of work. And it would take me away from home too much. I really like being home, working from home. Estate sales are like a 3-4 day setup, and then you run the sale for 2 or 3 days. And then you've got to deal with all the customer issues. And I hear a lot of that from my friends who run estate sales. I don't think that's for me. I just don't think that's for me. Like, I like what I do now. I like shopping. I like shopping the sales. This Wednesday, yes, Susan, this Wednesday, it's already scheduled. So if you go to the channel page, go to lives, you'll see it. You can get notified. And then Friday night, I will be doing a clearance on Whatnot. So hopefully everybody can join me over on Whatnot for that sale. Again, 4 p.m. Pacific time on Friday. I will get that preloaded as well. So for pre-bids, I'll get that preloaded Thursday morning after I do the sale on Wednesday. Hope it is okay to ask this. Do you have a chance to make this your forever home by buying this house in the future? Yes. Yes, and I hope to. Granted, the house doesn't have major issues. As long as we can get this whole pool thing straightened out. No, yeah, I would absolutely love to buy the house. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, and if you've never joined Whatnot, please use, hopefully, Melissa, do you have that link handy? Because I don't have it handy. I have a link that gets you $15 of credit if you are a first-time buyer on Whatnot. Thank you, thank you. There is the link for Wednesday's sale to bookmark. And then let me see if I can find it. Actually, Melissa may find it faster than me, but I'm gonna try to get there and go get that link so you guys can grab your $15 to spend if you wish. And there's a lot of you who started the sign-up process for Whatnot, never completed it, so you never got your $15. So I would encourage you to do that. Where's my link? There it is. Oh, yeah, she's got it. I'm also going to put it so it goes out onto Facebook. There we go. So that way it goes everywhere. But yeah, $15 off your first purchase. And it's not just with me. That is with any seller on Whatnot. You can use that. Indeed, indeed. We also have sellers that are doing live sales over on the nicheshoppingnetwork.com. So I encourage you to go and give them some support. If you'd like to do live sales on the Niche Shopping Network or be a seller there, don't hesitate, reach out. Go to nicheshoppingnetwork.com. You can fill out an application and love to have you. What makes my marketplace a little bit different than some of the others out there is I do have a YouTube channel that you can post like previews and other videos to market. I've already built the marketing for you. And then you can also multicast over to the YouTube channel that has over 5,000 subscribers already. So that is one of the perks of being a seller over on the Niche Shopping Network. Long time ago, Susan, long time ago you did. Oh, funny story. I said, hi, Danny, in your last live video and then realized you weren't live. It was the recording. I laughed so hard. Glad I caught you live on this show. Yep, it happens more than you think. More than you think. So, Lorianne, they're on the Niche Lady channel. If you go... Oh, they might be members only right now. You know what? I'm going to make, hold on, let me do it while I'm thinking of it, because if I don't do it while I'm thinking of it, it won't happen. Let me go ahead and make that one available for all, if it's not already. I have two. I have one that's American Brilliant, and then I have one that's American Brilliant and EAPG. But I think it is there. It's in my untapped treasures. Yeah, I do believe it's there. I do believe it's public. So if you just go search untapped treasures. I did a whole series of those kind of videos. And the information still holds. Values might be a little bit different than where they were then, but most of the values are probably still pretty spot on. Oh, you found it. You found it. There you go. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot to tell you members that we're doing that sale. And, you know, it's probably going to be a regular occurrence. I'm going to do it that way because it helps me, you know, get stuff like that done without kind of messing up the whole rhythm of the whole YouTube algorithm thing, which is like a crazy beast. Crazy beast. Keeps the riffraff out too. Just saying. Not that if you're not part of the membership, you're riffraff. I'm not saying that, but I think a lot of you know what I'm talking about. Those who would like to just come in and cause problems. All right. I'm waiting for the lag to see if there's any last questions. Not seeing any. I don't want to call my viewers riffraff. That's not what I'm doing. Thank you so much, Deborah. Yes, everybody have a fantastic rest of this week. And rest of this week, there's only hours left. Have a fantastic next week. It's our last week of July, guys. And then we can start thinking about Halloween and Christmas. Did I say that? All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Love you all. And with that, you go be profitable and make it fun. We'll see you on the next one.